We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Master Chorale honors Mathew Shepard's memory with Considering Mathew Shepard, supported by our fund. CFO Mark Blaylock emphasizes fighting hate.
Target opts out of stocking LGBTQ plus merchandise in some stores for Pride Month due to backlash and sales impact.
Swiss singer Nemo wins the 68th Eurovision with The Code, celebrating non-gender identity.
Inner Body and CDC reports reveal 50 metro areas facing the highest STI rates impacting gay men.
In season 14 of Doctor Who, Jinkx Monsoon shines as Maestro, the arch-nemesis of Doctor Who.
Good evening. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening television news. Broadcasting live and available on demand. Available on smart televisions, including Roku, Apple Television, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It's time to queer up the news for Monday, May 13, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens unique in the LGBTQ plus news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ plus community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ plus community. We want to inform and educate the issues of our queer culture, the Black community, Latino, lesbian and queer women, trans, students, youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS, healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ plus and broader community.
Let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome Harrison C. Davies. He is a level 10 Google local guide whose contributions have amassed an over 600 million viewed following. Harrison is well known in the community for using this platform to give hundreds of small businesses a voice and exposure in the greater Southern Florida region and beyond. Harrison, the Stonewall Pride Parade and Street Festival in Wilton Manors is Saturday, June 15th, featuring the first ever Night Glow Parade. Tell me, what's happening?
Well, Doctor, a lot's going to be happening on Wilton Drive. The city's going to be going the Twilight route again, so you might just be able to leave the sunscreen at home that day. And, Stonewall, it really is the premier, gathering, the premier Pride Parade in Florida, if not in the entire country. I travel all the time, and everybody's talking about it. But I can't talk about Stonewall briefly without mentioning kind of my own experience with it the first time. North Miami Councilman Scott Galvin, he was vying for a Congress seat that year. He was looking for exposure in the parade. My family was nice enough to loan him our 50th anniversary Ford Thunderbird for the parade. And I decided to pop up and snap a couple photos of the car in action and met some great friends that day. I was 19, 1 year in college, and the rest is history. That's all I can say to that.
That's an amazing story. Everyone's looking forward to Wilton's Pride. It's going to be a good time. So let's welcome anchor Jamaal L. Starks, aka Porcelain. Jamaal is the president of Impulse Group Miami. He is a sexual wellness advocate, coach, and walks as sexual serene in the ballroom scene with the House of Gorgeous Gucci. Jamaal is a board member of the Legacy Builders Consulting Group, part of South Florida's Fit Safe Space team, and the Queer Yoga Club at Miami Life Center. Jamaal, a major diversity LGBTQ plus festival is taking place on May 18th, presented by Unity Coalition called Elevate. So many different events. Tell me what's happening.
Well, on May 18th, come out to the Enchanted Forest Park in North Miami from about 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for food, yoga, fitness with Carrie and Pierre, Fit Safe Space. I'll be leading a little bit of yoga as well. Also, my team, Impulse Group will be there, and many others. We'll even have pottery and I think Pride Lines as well, right?
We will be there.
Hi.
Absolutely. Yes.
So it should be an amazing time this Saturday, May 18th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Enchanted Forest Park.
So you said you're doing yoga. Is it your style yoga?
I'm teaching.
Is it your style yoga?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm going to be there.
Yeah, I'm kicking butt.
I have like 3 events on Saturday because there's so many things going on. That just tells you how vibrant our community is. But I definitely think I'll stop by there.
Okay, good.
Just for your yoga.
Yeah.
Let's welcome Mark Blaylock. He is the CFO at the Our Fund Foundation, one of America's most important legacy-given LGBTQ plus community foundations, supporting hundreds of vital causes in South Florida community. Additionally, Mark has been singing with the Master Chorale of South Florida for 6 years. Mark, we're starting to get excited about June Pride Month. Floatorama, the largest LGBTQ plus water pride parade in America, is coming to Fort Lauderdale on June 8th. Tell me, what's happening, Mark?
Edward, that Saturday is going to be great fun in the sun, on the water. Great opportunity to take advantage of what we have here in Fort Lauderdale. Lots of fun and raising money for the Floatorama Youth Fund, which has made more than $125,000 in grants in the last 2 years, including to your own Pride Lines. It's going to be a great day.
Floatorama has emerged during the COVID period, and they've been such a significant organization in South Florida, really contributing to all of our community. It's a blessing to have them, and it's a fun event. It's a great event.
It's fantastic.
I'm looking forward to meeting them tomorrow, actually. We're talking about the event, so we're excited at Pride Lines. Now let's welcome Jeremy Spangler. He is the musician and the percussionist for the South Florida band at the Starlight. He has been a drummer for over 25 years. Jeremy, a fun event is coming to Dania Beach on June 22nd called Indie Pride. It's a music festival that celebrates an LGBTQ plus safe space and benefits the wellness program for Pride Center. Tell me what's happening.
Yeah, so my band at Starlight will be hosting Indie Pride 2024. We'll have 5 bands there, our own, at the Starlight, as well as Hennessy's, 33 Lions, After the Sunset, and Baby Gold. So that we'll have bands, vendors, artists, raffles, and nonprofit organizations all together on Saturday, June 22nd at My Mama's Books, Records, and Cafe in Dania Beach. It'll be, again, June 22nd, running from 1 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. We'll have a $10 cover charge, and tickets are available online at eventbrite.com, and we'll also have them available for sale at the door. Again, all profits are going to be donated to the wellness program at the Pride Center at Equality Park.
That's great. Looking forward to it.
And of course, this is tonight's lead anchor, Dr. Edward Summers. He is the executive director of Pride Lines, Miami's LGBTQ Community Center. He serves as a primary therapist and program director at Eye Care Treatment Center in West Palm Beach. He was also the founder and CEO of the New York-based nonprofit, The Thinkubator. Edward, Pride Lines is expanding its community outreach and will be hosting a special program right here in Wilton Manors called Executive Circle, being held at Todd's Catering on May 29th. Tell me what's happening.
Yeah, so this is really exciting. So Pride Lines, we have been around for 42 years, and our basis geography that we cover is Miami-Dade. However, increasingly members of our community have flocked from Miami-Dade to, Wilton, to, Broward County. And so we increasingly have been asked by donors and friends to host something up in Broward, to introduce ourselves or to reintroduce ourselves to the Broward community. Under my leadership, things have changed a little bit at Pride Lines. And so I'm very excited about all the new things that we're doing at Pride Lines. So this is an opportunity for us to just tell people what we're doing in Miami-Dade and to really talk to our nonprofit partners here in Broward to let them know that we're partners and we're here to play in the sand and play nicely. We have at Pride Lines experienced a number of clients that are from Broward who have come to us, and we refer them back to Broward, but then they come back to us. So this is our opportunity really just to tell people, here's our services, here's what we're doing, and we want to continue to collaborate and work with people here in Broward. So we're very excited about it. It's going to be a great event. Todd Catering, he's donated in the space and the food, and it's just going to be a lovely event just to talk about Pride Lines and what we've been doing and what we've been accomplishing, quite frankly, since, I joined last October. So very exciting event. So we are the reporters for Queer News Tonight. And this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points for Queer News for Monday, May 13, 2024. First, this evening, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Our fund supports Master Chorale, considering Mathew Shepard May 31st. The Master Chorale of South Florida presents Craig Hella Johnson's Considering Mathew Shepard, a moving tribute to the enduring memory of Mathew Shepard. Brett Carlisle, the artistic director of the chorale, will conduct this poignant June Pride Month event. This musical event commemorates the 25th anniversary of Shepard's tragic death. Set for May 31st and June 1st at Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, the concert promises an unforgettable experience. Our fund has generously supported this production with a major grant. Mark Blaylock, Chief Financial Officer and Legacy Officer of Our Fund Foundation, will also be singing with the Master Chorale. Mark believes in the importance of sharing Shepard's story to combat hate and division in society. You can get tickets for this amazing Pride musical event at masterchoraleofsouthflorida.org. And we are thrilled that Our Fund's CFO and Master Chorale singer Mark Blaylock joins us as an anchor today, emphasizing the significance of remembering Shepard's legacy. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
It's fantastic being here.
Well,
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. The work of the Our Fund Foundation has been pretty significant here in South Florida. So we're very much looking forward to, one, learning more about Our Fund, its mission, and some of the organizations that you guys support. And then we can talk a little bit more about Mathew Shepard.
Sure. Our Fund Foundation, we're now in our 14th year. And our mission is pretty simple. We promote philanthropy, we manage endowments for the community, and then obviously, as you alluded to, we make impactful granting all throughout all of South Florida. And the primary purpose, all of those things, is to make South Florida the most livable place in the country for LGBTQ individuals.
That's pretty great. And selfishly, Our Fund has supported Pride Lines even before I joined, and you and David Jobin has been really generous in supporting my leadership at Pride Lines, and the funds are pretty significant to help us support our community. And I've heard so many stories of other nonprofit organizations that you guys have supported as well. So, kudos to you guys for the work that you guys do for our community.
Thanks.
Now tell us about this event that you guys are sponsoring and that you're performing in as well.
So we make grants. Our Fund Foundation makes grants in a number of different areas. We do arts and culture, we do health and wellness, social justice and advocacy, seniors, youth, trans, you name an area of our life and we touch on it in some way. So this was one of the grants that we made through our arts and culture granting last year. And we're thrilled to be able to promote this story of Mathew Shepard and what happened to him through a group that I happen to also sing with, which is the Master Chorale of South Florida.
That's great. So tell me about Mathew Shepard. What does this story mean to you?
The story of Mathew Shepard is probably one of the most atrocious and vicious beatings and killings of an individual that really came to light for the first time across the whole country. It brought to light, I think, the first time what a hate crime looks like. And that was part of the vocabulary that didn't exist at the time. But as a result of what happened to him, there have been hate crime laws enacted on the federal level and the local level. So I think it's a story that needs to be told, and it shows what can happen with bias and division and hatred, where it can lead to if you aren't telling those stories. I'm reminded of the fact, before I got into finance and nonprofit work, I was a history teacher. And there's a saying that says, those that don't remember history are condemned to repeat it. Mm-hmm. So I think the Mathew Shepard story is a story that needs to be told to each and every generation so that we don't.
Yeah. No, I think it's very significant. And while our recent death that we had in Miami Beach of Andrea Despasos was not, we don't think, it hasn't been indicated as a hate crime. Nonetheless, it was a crime, and it was a crime where a member of our community was brutally beaten while sleeping. Again, there's no indication yet whether it was a hate crime or not. Andrea was a member of our community. She was a trans individual. The alleged assailant is somebody who has severe mental health issues. I've known him because part of my time is spent at Miami Beach, another part in the city of Miami. But again, it's just a reminder that this can, Mathew Shepard's story is a reminder that this can happen. And, Andrea's death, again, don't know if it's a hate crime or not, but it's an indicator that this can happen in our community close to home, and it has, So, Jamaal.
Next, let's queer up business. Target adjusts Pride merchandise in select stores following backlash. Rainbow capitalism in danger? Target has announced that it will not stock its LGBTQ plus merchandise for Pride Month in June at certain stores, following last year's backlash and sales impact. The retailer, with around 2,000 stores, stated that the decision to offer Pride merchandise, including adult apparel, home goods, and food and beverage items, will be determined by guest insights and consumer research. While Target declined to specify the number of stores affected, a complete range of Pride products will remain available online. In response to strong customer reactions, Target made significant adjustments to its LGBTQ plus merchandise across its stores nationwide ahead of Pride Month last year. This included removing certain items and relocating Pride displays to the back of the stores in select southern locations. Target encounters another wave of criticism from customers angered by its response to aggressive anti-LGBTQ plus activism. Civil rights groups condemn the retailer for yielding to anti-LGBTQ plus sentiment and removing gender-fluid bathing suits amid threats from outraged customers. Target's recent actions highlight the ongoing challenges for businesses in addressing diverse customer needs amid cultural divisions, especially regarding transgender rights. As we approach June Pride Month, Queer News Tonight will follow the trends from corporate America and what will happen for traditional and growing rainbow capitalism in the radical conservative and evangelical world we are watching. So it's very interesting. I heard this come out a couple of days ago, and my initial thoughts were, oh, they're removing all stores, but it says select stores. And from what I witnessed last year, some of those customers were destroying the merchandise and destroying the stores. And I'm pretty sure, that takes a toll on the employees, that takes a toll on your bottom line. You're stressing your employees out and things of that nature. So I don't think this is a bad decision necessarily, since it says select stores and they're still keeping stuff online. So I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing. They just have to do what they have to do for them to protect their stores.
Yeah, I'm conflicted here. One stance, if you're a corporate organization, you either stand for a community or you don't. However, they are a corporate company, they're a business. And so what the story indicates is that based on, guest surveys and information, that they'll determine which stores can have it or not. So if you're in Alabama, should we be having, a store full of gay flags and gay merchandise? Maybe not, because, our community doesn't exist there, right? And so I think that on one hand, I do believe that they need to stand with us and be bold and just say that they stand with the LGBT plus community. They won't stand for hate. Screw you haters. We're going to have our merchandise in stores. But I do get it from a business perspective that certain stores, you may not sell any merchandise. So why put that merchandise in a store that you're not going to sell anything? So I do get that perspective. But I'm kind of a radical at times, and I do believe screw what people think, either stand with us or don't.
Next, let's queer up the worldview. Switzerland's non-binary contestant Nemo Mettler wins Eurovision Song Contest. Nemo, a Swiss singer, clinched victory this week in the 68th Eurovision Song Contest with The Code, a fusion of operatic pop and rap celebrating the singer's journey to a non-gender identity. The 24-year-old Nemo beat Croatian rocker Baby Lasagna, earning the highest points from both national juries and viewers worldwide. Nemo is the first non-binary winner of the contest, traditionally celebrated by the LGBTQ+ community. This victory also marks Switzerland's first win since 1988, when Canadian singer Celine Dion competed under the Swiss flag. At a press conference following their victory, Nemo expressed pride in receiving the trophy on behalf of those daring to be themselves and in need of understanding and compassion. Their triumph in Malmö, Sweden, came amidst a tumultuous year for the Pan-European pop contest. Street protests against Israel's participation and the shadow of the Gaza conflict transformed the usually joyous event into a chaotic pressure cooker. Just today, more details surfaced on how Eurovision tried to prevent any attention to the non-binary story of Nemo, as the contestant was barred from bringing in a non-binary flag. It was viewed as controversial. Nemo said that they had to smuggle their non-binary flag into Saturday's grand final. The winner called out the show's double standard. It was not until Nemo appeared on stage to represent their country did they unveil the white, yellow, black, and purple flag, also known as the non-binary flag. Fans were barred from bringing non-binary flags into the arena. Competing against finalists from 24 countries, Nemo, whose full name is Nemo Mettler, emerged victorious. The event attracted thousands of live spectators and an estimated 180 million viewers worldwide.
Just to be a part of it was special, and to know that a song that has changed my life and a song where I just speak about my story has touched so many people and maybe inspired other people to stay true to their story is the most insane thing that has ever happened to me.
I have no words. It feels like I'm in a dream. I just wait someone to come and pinch me. It doesn't feel real at all. As a Nemo there and a non-binary person, and to represent this message, what they are for us is really important, because it's showing that Switzerland and Europe and the world is really open, and that we accept everyone, and we are actually here to break the rules.
I think it's also worth recognizing that Ireland's Bambi Thug was also a finalist, so there were actually two non-binary singers who were competing in the finals this year.
No, this is amazing though. Like, go Nemo. Like, screw it. Let the flag in. Like, I mean, this is an amazing story. Like, I mean, it's like, and then, you know, from the clip, that woman, you know, from Switzerland who just spoke about what this means and the significance. I mean, this is a pretty amazing story, and kudos to him. You know, while we oftentimes report about, you know, stories of hate and, you know, just negative stories about our community, here's a positive one. Despite them not wanting Nemo to bring the flag, and Nemo did it anyway. He said, fuck you. Excuse my French. But he said, screw you. I'm going to bring it anyway, and I'm going to express who I am. And having, you know, hundreds of millions of viewers view this as pretty significant progress for our community. And I was just smiling at the whole story, because this is like an amazing story. What a beautiful person.
And that was a beautiful video.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
all of the people with their, even though they didn't let them in with their trans flags, but they still made it on the news, and we still talking about it over here. So, +1. Even though that Target story was a downer, this was a big +1.
This was a +1. Oh my God. No, it's amazing. I mean, you know, I take this as a win for our community. I take this as progress.
Exactly.
Progress. And Switzerland, I don't know much about Switzerland and how progressive they are, but the fact that Switzerland is, you know, they have progressive people there, you know, and it's amazing.
Think about how encouraging that could be to the youth that saw that as well.
That's right. That's huge. That is huge. And the message is be yourself.
Yes.
Be yourself. Be your authentic self, whoever that is. Let's queer up health. 50 cities with highest STIs and 2 Florida cities getting top honors may not surprise you. A new report from the CDC sheds light on the 50 U.S. metropolitan areas grappling with the highest rates of sexually transmitted infections. Despite advancements in HIV prevention, STI rates, including chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis, have surged over the past decade, with a disproportionate impact on gay men. In 2022, approximately 1 in 130 individuals across the U.S. were diagnosed with an STI. However, the statistics vary significantly across locations. Health research firm Interbody meticulously analyzed state-by-state data to identify the cities and towns with the highest number of STI diagnoses. Surprisingly, Philadelphia emerged as the city with the highest STI rates, with 1 in 65 residents diagnosed with an STI in 2022. Following closely behind are Memphis, Jackson, New Orleans, and St. Louis. San Francisco ranks 8th in STI prevalence, highlighting the impact on gay communities. Conversely, Provo, Utah, stands out as a low STI hotspot, attributed in part to its high Mormon population. Florida sees its fair share of STI challenges, with Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and Orlando all making the list of the top 50 cities with high STI rates. Miami was a top 20 city. To address this public health concern, in a body suggested leveraging guidance from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. This includes partnering with pharmacies and clinics to enhance access to testing and treatment, as well as exploring telehealth options. Additionally, the promotion of express clinics offering instant testing could play a vital role in combating STIs. CDC concludes one of the top issues for the LGBTQ plus community is the decreased use of condoms in a post-HIV PrEP environment. I concur with the CDC. I think that, I see it as a single person, when I'm talking to folks, engaging folks, nobody wants to use condoms. They're like, no, I'm on PrEP, so I'm on PEP, undetectable, so like, why use condoms? And so I think that this is a challenge in our community. I don't think that people realize that, like, yes, PrEP and PEP protects you from spreading HIV, but it doesn't protect the other things that exist out there, like chlamydia, like gonorrhea, like syphilis, like herpes, right? And herpes you can't get rid of. You can't just go and get a shot, right? You're stuck with herpes for life. I just had a friend who actually confided in me that he's bi individual. He's up in New York, and him and his girlfriend split up, and they had a little break or whatever. He went out, had fun, engaged in sexual intercourse with somebody who had herpes, caught herpes, gave it to his girlfriend, right? Now you have 3 people infected with this, maybe more, who are infected with this for the rest of their lives. And yes, with medication you can control it, but the reality is these STIs still exist. They still impact our lives. And we need to talk a little bit more about it in our community. I don't think we talk enough about the fact that PrEP and PEP just protects you from HIV, and that there's still these other diseases out there that we need to protect ourselves from. So wrap it up. Wear a damn condom.
I always wonder if it's ignorance, unawareness, education, or, there's so many, or resources. There's so many things we can, throw into the pot, and I always come back to education and awareness. And I think it's just low with this. I mean, you can go to any clinic or any Walgreens or any CVS and get your blood pressure checked. You can take home a lot of tests, but when are we going to, as a community, ritualize getting tested? When are we going to ritualize that? When are we going to implement these as tactics? If you don't wear condoms, there's also doxy-PEP, PrEP. There's also testing. I think there is just the stigma, and if you're grown enough to do it, you're grown enough to go and keep yourself healthy. And it's just it's such a
I think you're pointing out a good point of healthcare disparities that exist within different communities, right? And I would love to see the data to be broken down in terms of racial and ethnic groups as well, in terms of who are the ones that are actually have the higher prevalence, right? I think that you would find that probably people in lower economic communities, despite color, despite ethnic background, probably have a higher rate, right?
Right.
Of STI infections because of, again, to your point, education, awareness, access, right? And it's knowledge, right? Like about the fact that you can still catch these other things. Pride Lines is in a community in Miami called Liberty City, where, quite frankly, I've had people come in who stare at me blank when I talk about PrEP and PEP, and that's PrEP and PEP, right? And then I talk about the fact that there are all these others, and they're literally like, "Are you are you joking?" When we're talking about these conversations. So there are still, despite all the advancements that we've made, there are still communities that don't have the knowledge and awareness and or access to the resources to be able to prevent some of these. So I think that this raises a much larger conversation about the health disparities that exist in our society when you divide it between race, ethnicity, and then even more socioeconomic status.
Right, because we can talk about insurance, we can talk about all of those things that play a role, and we can also talk about the places that we just saw, Baton Rouge, Philadelphia, St. Louis, these are cities that are usually the disparities amongst socioeconomic status is a very wide gap. So,
and with high populations of people of color, particularly Black people, right? Let's be real about it. Let's call it what it is. And again, going back to this notion of healthcare disparities, do clinics exist, right? I mean, we have a plethora of them here in Florida. We're very lucky that we have nonprofit organizations who have clinics attached to them. Not enough, quite frankly, in parts of Miami. But in those communities, do they have the same infrastructure and systems that we have? I mean, I'm lucky in Pride Lines, we just April 1st, we just started a clinic, right? We've been testing for years. Now we actually give out PrEP and PEP and, we treat STIs, right? So we're lucky that we're able to do that, particularly in Liberty City, a community that is, resource drained. They don't have a significant amount of resource poured into it like Miami Beach, where you have almost a clinic or AHF or CAN or one of the other facilities on each corner. Liberty City doesn't have that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have HF there, but they don't have Pride Lines. Right? They don't have that many resources there. So the cities that were indicated, do they have these resources? Do they even exist? And I've traveled to some of those cities. Like Philly, I don't see any pop-up clinics where you can just go get tested and get treated right there, despite not having health insurance. Right? And so we talk about another layer, right? Do people have health insurance to be able to pay for this, right? Because in not all cities can you access free healthcare services.
Right.
So it's very... this conversation deserves a much larger, conversation, because when we talk about healthcare disparities, it's just it's not as straightforward as one would think, right? There's so many layers to this conversation.
Well, I mean, if I can just chime in for a second, I mean, we got, resources going on here. In the experience of, somebody who's constantly contributing to Local Guides Connect, the only label that any businesses get that's LGBTQ is it might just say LGBTQ friendly, which every business and its mother wants to put on their main page. So, like, if an individual were to go to, let's say, Rosie's or Alibi, they might get prompted to give some feedback on on Google Local Guides or Google Maps. It'll be like, how was the wait? How was the parking? Was there handicap parking? Was the service friendly? But why, if you go to a clinic, can't you be prompted with what insurance do they take? How was the wait? Was the staff friendly there? It just doesn't exist. And this is brick and mortar we're talking. There's no e-commerce clinics. So it's like there's a disparity between LGBTQ resources in this particular platform, something that I've been working fairly diligently on, but to continue to get shut down on, quite frankly. A lot of Europeans in that network.
Really?
Yes, wow. Europeans and Indians. Not that that's a bad. It's just I think Americans don't tend to step up in that program very often.
Well, thank you for stepping up.
Yeah.
I think we need more people like you to step up in this arena.
It's a very specific niche, but I'm happy to be 1% of the 1% in it in the U.S. But considering how many Americans participate, not exactly saying a lot, unfortunately.
But you the 1% can make that difference, right? And so continue to trug along, because we need people like you to make those differences in our community, apropos of this conversation.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, let's queer up entertainment. First, gay Doctor Who has a scene-stealing adversary in Jinkx Monsoon's Maestro. Brace yourselves as we embarked on a thrilling journey to a very queer era of Doctor Who, with the casting of Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor and the first LGBTQ plus actor playing Who. But what we've experienced so far has surpassed all our queer expectations. In the latest episode, titled The Devil's Chord, we are introduced to Jinkx Monsoon as the enigmatic Maestro. Monsoon's portrayal is nothing short of mesmerizing, bringing to life a character who is both menacing and captivating. From the moment Monsoon appears on screen, it's clear that we're in for a wild ride. Unlike previous villains, this Maestro isn't solely fixated on the Doctor. In fact, he seems to relish the opportunity to challenge and taunt our beloved Doctor Who. With every line delivered with precision and every scene stolen effortlessly, Monsoon's performance as Maestro is a masterclass in villainy. But what truly sets Maestro apart is their dynamic opposition with the Doctor. Yes, they, them are Maestro's pronouns. Rather than being intimidated, Monsoon's character openly flirts and teases the Doctor. The character also poses challenges that the Doctor is afraid of. Longtime fans of Doctor Who are already hailing Maestro as one of the franchise's greatest antagonists. This Maestro is a groundbreaking addition to the Doctor Who universe, and we can't wait to see what twists and turns lie ahead in season 14. You can watch Doctor Who on Disney+.
With all my adventures, never seen anything like this before.
Oh my, Bridgerton! This place is completely mad.
Things seem to be turning more and more supernatural.
Is that monster?
No, don't be silly. There's no such thing as monsters. It's just creatures you haven't met yet. There are powers beyond the universe, so vast. The whole world could slide into the pit. This is what we're trying to stop.
I'm still her mum. I need to know she'll be okay. You'll keep her safe?
I will keep her safe. I promise.
It's taken me all this time to realize what I'm here to do. I'm gonna save the world.
Everything is possible. Everything is possible.
Time may change me.
Yo. Yo, I'm here for it. I'm here for it now. Right now, I have been, streaming through Disney Plus because X-Men 97 is everything. If you have not been watching X-Men 97, I don't know what you are doing with your life.
Really?
What have you been doing with your life? What have you been doing? And so I've been seeing Doctor Who, but I'm like, oh, I'm a wait. And now and Shooty Gatwa is fine as hell. Like, damn, you got me. I'm here.
Listen, that clip is fantastic. It's very engaging. It draws you in. I love things like this. But let's talk a little bit more about representation.
Yes, Jinkx.
Oh my God. I mean, it's amazing that we've come this far in terms of acting, right? Like the fact that the Doctor Who could be played by a Black gay person, right?
Yes.
That's just. If you said this 5 years ago, I probably would have said no.
And his nemesis is a non-binary.
Right. I mean, come on, the progress that we've made, and it's on Disney Plus, which is a chill. Think about our state, right, where our governor thinks that exposing anything gay to younger people is bad. It's Satan or whatever. Disney Plus, which is known as a youth station, basically, is featuring this diverse cast of individuals. That young people will watch.
And they've been doing this across the board because I've been on the Disney train right now, watching my, healing my inner child, especially as a millennial. But this is exciting. I see season 14, so now I'm gonna have to really dig.
We have some work to do. I think we have to have a little slumber party where we just binge watch, Yeah, we should just do it.
Yeah.
Popcorn, binge watch. Let's just do it.
Heal our inner childs together.
Yeah. Governor DeSantis, watch Disney, please.
As a part of our mission to support the LGBTQ plus community, the Happening Out Travel Club offers trips around the world that are fundraisers for nonprofit initiatives and organizations. We invite you to join us for Medellin Pride departing June 27th. Find out more at happeningout.travel/Colombia.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday at International Service at 10:30 a.m.
We finish tonight's Queer News headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News, let's queer up travel. Visit Lauderdale debuts Pride Burger on May 15th as a part of 954 Burger Month. Visit Lauderdale invites you to the burger event of the year. You don't want to miss the debut of the Pride Burger at the food truck store in Wilton Manors on May 15th, available throughout June. It's part of Greater Fort Lauderdale's celebration of National Burger Month and LGBTQ plus culture. The gayest place on the earth awaits to treat you with delicious burgers and more. I'm looking forward to a burger. I love meat.
So we're going to have burger and pride at the same time?
All together.
Ooh.
And at one of the newer independent businesses in Wilton Manors. Yeah.
All right.
Owner.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Oakland Park abruptly closes Wilton Gay Man Spa. When Wilton Social Club opened on August 2023, owner Dom Santarelli chose Oakland Park for its proximity to Wilton Manors and cheaper rents. Opening a men's sauna required months of permits and dealing with the city to make sure everything was legal and up to code. That's why Dom and his manager Kevin were shocked on May 9th when the city ordered them to close. They cited the adult videos playing in the venue as the reason. Other LGBTQ plus owners, such as Christian Perez, owner of Island City Massage, have shown support on social media, claiming Oakland Park had used vague citations to close them down as well, and forced them to move to the more expensive Wilton Manors. Queer News Tonight inquired if another gay adult sauna on the same street, Oakland Park Boulevard, was also closed. Clubhouse 2, while just a short distance away on the same street, is in the city of Fort Lauderdale. It continues to operate. Here was the Wilton Social Club video.
Hey guys, so this is our final post from within the building. We've been ordered to vacate by 5:30 today, and we've been obeying the law all along, and we will continue to do so. So here on in, we were forced to shut down our social media, something I've never heard of before. But we also are compliant, and that's why we have changed our social media to this page, if anybody is wondering why. We continue to feel that we have done nothing wrong and that there was no reason for to be shut down in the way we were, but that's what was ordered. So we're going to miss you guys terribly. It was a family, not a business, and I've made a lot of close connections that I hope to keep on, going forward with. And I know Dom has made some great connections. And this is just a chapter in the story. We're going to move on from here. We're shut down in this physical location, but they have not shut us down. The Oakland Park community has proven that they are not for gay businesses. We were the largest gay business to open here in Oakland Park, and they have shut us down within 9 months. So that's all I have to say for now. God bless you all, and I hope to see you soon.
Wow, my heart goes out to them. That's sad. And also, isn't Oakland Park having their first Pride this year? Because we were commissioned to be in it, and they're doing this. You know what? My heart, that really hurt my heart to see them have to post that and make that video. And their social media too. What does that have to do with it?
I think the city of Oakland Park has popped in with their little event in the park they have each year. I think the plan was to really take it up a notch, but I mean, this kind of goes in the complete opposite direction.
Yeah, I mean, talk about trying to be a pro-business city or municipality, like that's not pro-business at all. I mean, I think I want to see what the infractions were. Like, what did they do?
Yeah.
and I want to see the ordinance as well that indicates that they violated an ordinance. Like, I just want to see, you know, I just find this to be targeted, discriminatory. You know, why? Like, they've been operating for a little while now, like since 2022. Like, why now?
It sounds extreme. You know, give them the opportunity to rectify whatever the issue
whatever it is.
Exactly.
But you're asking them to close down immediately, right? They had to vacate the building that they occupy, that they pay for. So you're telling me to vacate something I pay for? Like, whoa, big brother, you know, like, and I'm a Democrat, I'm a liberal, and like, I'm like, whoa, here, like, talking about, you know, sort of this regulatory environment, but also, like, turn down their social media. Like, who do you think you are? Like, who are you to tell me that I have to change my social media and limit my freedom of expression, my freedom to communicate with our communities out here? I mean, I think this is very extreme. It just seems like it's very targeted for some reason or another. I'm just wondering, like, what led to this? Like, were there other infractions, you know, to give in fairness to Oakland Park? Were there other infractions prior? Were there citations? Like, what led to this extreme just shutdown of this business? Who, quite frankly, at spas and saunas like this, they don't bother anybody. People go there, they do their business, and they leave. Like, it's not like they're impacting negatively the rest of the community around them.
And if we find out that it is discriminatory, Oakland Park Pride might be an Oakland Park protest.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, also what I'm scratching my head on is the digital large platforms that also came into play, killing their social media account. I mean, those the city of Oakland Park's, 100,000, 70. I mean, they're, about 300 employees, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they're millions of people. And that's got involved. I mean, I see their Google profile still active. So obviously they haven't gotten to, Oakland Park hasn't gotten to them yet, but right. It's there's a lot of big players at play for but I think it's kind of cool that such a small business just, rocks so many boats. Yeah. But hopefully they'll, land safe eventually.
Hopefully it will, but shame, again, we don't know all the story to this, but shame on them for making this business close. But like, Oakland Park has benefited tremendously from the gays moving from Wilton up to Oakland because they can't afford Wilton anymore. Like, what are you saying? Do you not want us in your community? Like, I would love to hear more from this. I would love for Oakland Park to respond to Queer News Tonight and, the different media publications to talk about their position here. I would love to hear their comments. Go to Oakland Park, the municipality. Go to Outside Florida, the PR person. Please tell us your position and why you closed this business down. What did they do to harm you? Because you're benefiting tremendously from our community. So we want to hear from you. Mm-hmm. Speak up. They've spoken their word. They've indicated that you've closed them down. So now it's time to hear your perspective. Speak up. Let's hear you. Jeremy?
Hello.
LGBTQ+, 1 Minute News. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Flights of Fiction exhibition opens at Stonewall National Museum. The Stonewall National Museum Archives and Library hosted the opening reception for the Flights of Fiction exhibition by artists Adam Chow and Howard Kotler on Friday, May 10th. The month-long exhibition presents a gay utopian ideal as a means of escapism from real-world challenges faced by queer communities. Through their work, both artists challenge heteronormativity ingrained in American culture. Sounds like a great opportunity to just envision a different world. And, we were just talking about what's going on locally. And I think, it sounds like a wonderful opportunity to picture and envision something that's a little bit different.
Big ups to Robert Keston, who's the executive director at Stonewall. I mean, he has flipped Stonewall over the last year or two that he's been the ED there. And I think that this is an amazing exhibit. I definitely want to see it. I live right near there. So, and like you said, apropos of the previous conversation, I want to escape to a utopia. Something very different. So, LGBTQ+, 1 Minute News. Let's queer up drag culture. The RuPaul All-Stars 9 cast paid homage to Washington, D.C. and met Karine Jean-Pierre. The All-Stars 9 cast made a splash in Washington, D.C. this week, touring iconic sites and chatting with local media. Sporting patriotic attire, they paid homage to RuPaul's historic 1993 gay and lesbian march look. What made this trip memorable was a meeting with none other than White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, the first LGBTQ+ and Black woman to hold this position. I'm glad that the the queens from RuPaul are getting more involved and engaged with somebody like Karine Jean-Pierre. I mean, I think she's such a significant person for our community. She definitely made headlines when she was appointed as press secretary. And so this seems pretty cool and great that they had the opportunity to, one, be in DC, but then meet with somebody in political power. Oftentimes, you know, the two lives are separated, right? You have the entertainers over here and the politicians over there. And so it's great to merge the two communities. So I'm excited that they had the opportunity to do this.
You think there's a difference between those two?
No.
These days, no, right? These days, not so much.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up politics. Florida Congressman Jared Moskowitz slays MTG with the Wicked Witch of the East meme. Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene recently faced a resounding defeat in Congress. Her bid to force a vote to remove Speaker Mike Johnson was met with instant opposition as the House floor booed, and culminating in a decisive 359 to 43 to 7 vote against her motion. Soon, Florida Democrat Jared Moskowitz shared a meme likening MTG to the Wicked Witch of the East, crushed under Dorothy's house. The twist is the witch is wearing Donald Trump's gold sneakers instead of ruby slippers. Oh, that is so cute. I love it.
Good for Jared. You know, he's a freshman, but he is making a name for himself already in the House. And I tell him, poke Marjorie Greene Taylor anytime that he wants.
I love the meme. It's great because it ties up with Trump, of course. But you know, shame on her for, you know, continuing to push her right-wing agenda. This was, if she succeeded here, this would have been a second speaker that they removed in less than a year. I'm glad that she didn't succeed, and hopefully, you know, Congress can get to work for the people, which they're finding it very difficult to work for the people. We're constantly dealing with this BS, right, of trying to remove a speaker versus focusing on, you know, policies that are going to support our communities, our vulnerable communities, policies that are going to support, you know, funding, you know, some of the international challenges that we are involved with and engaged with. So I'm glad that she lost this battle so that hopefully Congress can get to work and do the important work of Congress. And also, you know, I'm glad that, you know, Jared had that meme. And, you know, as you said, Mark, you know, he is definitely making a name for himself. He is emerging as, you know, a leader in the Democratic Party. And I'm excited to see what's to come from him.
Yep.
I'm going to keep praying for the proverbial Dorothy's house to just crush all of them.
Yes, do it.
And that is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only LGBTQ plus evening news show. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Are you, like most of America, part of our very large television audience watching this live LGBTQ plus news broadcast right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV?
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight. I am your anchor, Dr. Edward Summers. On behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Harrison C. Davies, Jeremy Spangler, Jamaal L. Starks, Mark Blaylock, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you
Good night.
Good night.